Hello everybody and welcome to this Awesomenauts guide featuring Clunk with yours truly, SlowWolf. Today we're going to be taking a look at Clunk because, hey, you know what? I've recently been enjoying playing beefy characters that can start fights in most of the MOBAs I'm playing, and Clunk is absolutely no exception. Now, the thing with Clunk that a lot of people like to do is go for heavy damage, all that stuff. I decided to go a slightly different route. Personally, when I look at him and I see tank, crowd control, nuker, I really like the crowd control. And nuking's good and all, but crowd control can easily win games. So I want to go ahead and show off what Clunk is capable of doing in team fights if you play him slightly differently. So for my build, you don't require a lot of levels. In fact, you require very few to make this work. The upper level stuff that you would really want, the only one that you'd really want is the salvo value pack. That's about it. That's about all. But the rest of this is absolutely invaluable and is really useful for letting Clunk in the early game just ball in and go crazy. Late game, it's not nearly as powerful as some other builds that include pills and medical pump, but hey, we make do. We make do. We try to rely on our bite to keep us alive, and the lack of damage that we're taking from our own explode helps give us a bit more HP than most people would think. So, on the bite row, we've got damage, snare, and more damage. Now, you can go ahead and replace one of the damage with multi-hose if you like, and that would increase his ability to CC. However, in a one-on-one situation or when chasing, I find that being able to snare one target is plenty enough in some situations, and the increase in damage allows you to do a lot. Whenever you increase the damage on bite, one thing to keep in mind is that it increases the gap of HP between you and your opponent, and being able to steal more life and deal more damage at the same time is pretty freaking neat. For the explode, I've picked up titanium hard hat, grease lightning snail, and the reactor cooler. The reason why I've picked these three up is so that way you can spam it as often as you want, so the cooldown -5, and you won't take any damage from it. This is for two reasons. One, titanium hard hat reduces the damage you're taking, and two, I'm not taking the extra damage. I've also decided to go for the grease lightning snail because then it adds a slow to your explode, and since it's going to be on a 5-second cooldown or 7-second cooldown instead of what it would normally be, which is, 13.5 seconds, you're able to spam it a lot more often, and that slowing power really comes into effect, especially in big team fights or in long chases. For my missiles, I decided to go for a slightly more pushing route. You can do whatever you like with the missiles, but I found that this allows me to be a lot more utilitarian in the late game, allows me to sit back and just kind of poke away, and it still does a fair amount of damage. Now, granted, instead of missile barrage, I would like to pick up the salvo value pack because that's just strictly better. It adds the 4th missile to your string. However, if you're lower level, this works out just fine. Going for fragmenting shells, attack speed, and the missile barrage, or the salvo value pack once you get it, is highly recommended for me. The attack speed allows you to just do a lot more DPS and allows you to push a lot quicker. It also allows you to spam your missiles so that way you can zone people out a bit better. Fragmenting shells essentially allows you to double or even triple your damage in some situations where a lot of people are clumped together. If you manage to hit multiple people with your missiles, that's a lot of extra damage you're pumping out that you wouldn't normally be able to, and that's pretty freaking cool. Finally, for the utility row, because we're not aiming for late game, we decided to aim for early game stuff. So meta can, boots, and a piggy bank to get us started, to give us the boost that we need in order to be able to pick up both of our abilities and boots right off the bat, pretty much anyway. The regen, now that it's going to be slightly cheaper in the next patch, is useful, but here, let's go ahead and show off what this can do. So right out of the bat, you're going to be flying down, you're going to be picking up all your solar as best as you can. It's important to pick up almost all of it. If you miss one or two, that's fine. But you should be fine. Overall, it's all good. What you're going to want to do right out of the gate is pick up bite, piggy bank, and boots. Then, if you actually manage to pick up enough, you can pick up explode as well. So now you're already moving faster, and Clunk is already powerful to begin with. Like, you're doing what most Clunks already wish they could do, which is kind of waltz in and eat the crap out of people. So, hello. How you doing? With proper aiming of your abilities and all the rest of it, you should be fine. Oh, what the... Damn it, collision, stop it! But yeah, overall, we're doing some kills. Hey, you. Not done with you yet. So yes, I am playing against bots because I'm currently in the beta. I just wanted to show off what this could do anyway, so there we go. Up we get. Get some more pushing. So once you've done some ganks and played the way that Clunks normally do, just kind of walk in, make a ruckus of things, do a lot of damage, you're going to need to decide what you want to focus on with this build. So with this build, I did try to focus mostly on crowd control. Now, you can go for the pushing route right out of the gate with your missiles if you're having a hard time. Say you're up against the Skolldir or something, that's a good way to go. But if you're in a normal situation where you can waltz in and do a bunch of damage, the first thing that you're going to want to pick up is one ranking your Grease Lightning Snail. At least. At least. The reason why you want to pick that up right out of the gate is because it allows you to chase people a lot easier. Especially at a stage where they might not have their boots yet. You can go ahead and deal some damage a lot more reliably with your Explode. And you're still essentially playing the nuking role at this point. You're still walking in, you're still doing a lot of damage. You're not doing the balling out of control build yet. There we go. He's going to go ahead and die because he's stupid. There you go, take that out, bounce up here, pick up some more solar, get even more solar, keep pushing, and just keep doing this until you have enough solar to be able to go back and pick up the next couple of upgrades you need. In this case, oh, look at all that solar, that's 50 of it sitting on the ground there. I picked up some of it and that tasted good. We're gonna go ahead and head back now that I got 283 more solar. Now, the next thing to pick up, once you got one rank in your snail, you're usually able to catch up to most people. You're going to want to focus on not taking damage anymore. So, we're going to go ahead and bring up both levels of Hard Hat. Alternatively, you can pick up one level of Hard Hat and work into regen. I really appreciate going that way, especially against dot characters like Skolldir or Gnaw, because the regen can save you in a lot of situations where Bite normally wouldn't be able to. However, in this situation, there isn't any dot character on the other team, so I'm just going to try my best to walk up to people and snail them. So this guy, for instance, I missed my Bite, still hit the Explode, but I didn't take any damage off the Explode, which meant that the gap between my HP and his stayed a lot bigger than it should have. Like that, I find that that's one thing that Clunk does well, is math people to death. So long as you're able to, there we go, create gaps in HP that are fairly substantial, you can win most one-on-one fights. So that's why missing a Bite, for instance, feels so crummy as it does. It's not the 30 damage, it's the 30 damage plus the 30 HP that you're getting that allows you to win fights with Bite so often. So once we've got enough money to go back, we do, and we're going to pick up the reactor cooldown. Yeah, that's what it is. Reactor cooler? Cooldown? Cooler? If it's cooler, does the food? Can you pack beer in it? I don't know. That'd be nice. Go ahead and pick up the creeps here, do some more damage. Alright, see this guy right here? Come in from behind, go ahead, bite, and just keep chasing. With the cooldown coming off fairly soon, I can usually rely on my friends to help come and save me at some point, but not this time. So we're going to go ahead, deal some damage, and we're going to start running away. We're going to pick up the HP, get a bite off, but miss, because I'm bad, and I ended up dying. So right there, if I had landed my bite, I would have survived, and that would have saved me. So dying is something that happens a lot with this build, especially if you don't have friends. If you have teammates like my bots here, you're going to do especially badly. And that kind of, well, not especially badly, but you're not going to do as well as you normally would. The reason why this Clunk build works really well with a team and not so well without one is because of the focus on the CC that we have, especially on our Explode. So, in this case, we're going to go ahead and pick up a little bit of regen, so that way maybe next time I'll stay alive a bit better. Like, we are still taking a little bit of damage just by being in the thick of things. One thing that the slow on the Explode allows us to do is land our bites a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until my bite cooldown's almost off. There we go. And then kill him. Waiting for your cooldowns to kind of sync up together is pretty important. And allows you to do a lot of stuff. So in this case, boink. There we go. Allows you to do a lot of burst. Even though I don't have the 100 damage increase, the increased damage on the Explode, I'm still doing a fair amount. Now, the other thing I'm going to be doing is picking up Snare. I'm still not picking up the second ranking Grease Snail yet, because although it's really useful, I still don't need it. You can pick it up after you've picked up Snare on the bite. And what this does is it allows you now to CC people forever. So right now he's snailed, and I'm going to be able to bite him, and then he was stuck for even a little bit longer. So you want to try to get it so that way you're not stacking the two debuffs together. So we're going to go ahead and chase this guy down, then get a bite off. And then that way he's stuck for a little bit longer. Now, one rank in Snare is not a lot. In fact, it's minuscule. It's not inconsequential, but it certainly is a lot smaller than you'd like it to be sometimes. So we're going to go ahead and back off now. We've almost got enough for our second rank in Snare. Oh, I accidentally activated that, but that's okay, because I managed to get off the bite anyway, thanks to the Grease Snail, and that kept the Lone Star stuck there for a little bit longer, which allowed us to get a kill. Now that I have an advantage, I'm going to go ahead and push. Bam, look at that damage come out. Oh, yeah. Or you might even get this top tower. And by might, I mean we damn well should. If I didn't get top tower, I'd be very sad. Unfortunately, my poor missiles just aren't doing a lot of damage. Just doing some, but oh crap, I'm gonna get hit. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this around on the guy. And since I don't take damage from my explode, that's all win for me if I land that explode. Oh. Cow, this is not good. Go ahead, explode, pick up the pure HP increase off of hitting a creep with the explode. That's all good. We managed to get out of there alive. Alright, so now we're going to pick up the second rank in Snare. And then the second rank in Snail. And this is effectively the core of your build. This is where you start to shine. Once you have Snare, Snail, like everything on your explode, which is actually a fairly cheap bunch of upgrades, boots, then you're able to just chase people down. Now, this is taking a little while to get there, but you're still useful throughout the early game as the nuker. But as you guys can probably guess, as the game goes on, you're not able to do as much damage as other Clunks. So you do have to focus on managing to land CC and working with your team to be able to get kills. However, you can chase people a lot better. And that's something that more frail characters that don't have a lot of HP, say Vinny and Spike or Leon, have a harder time dealing with this kind of Clunk. Characters like Lone Star, on the other hand, don't care because they still have Bull and whatever. At least the negative side effect of missing your explode isn't nearly as bad. The other thing is that you can use your Clunk explode to actually push because it's on such a low cooldown. So you don't need to pick up frag shells. You can just explode. So we can go ahead, deal some more damage here. My teammate's gonna die because they're noobs. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and try to explode. Boom! There we go. And see how I waited until the last second to put out the snare bite? So that way I could guarantee hitting with it? That's an important part of this playstyle right here. It's an important part of any playstyle involving the Grease Lightning Snail, because Grease Lightning Snail is quite good. There we go. Since he was low enough, I decided to bite while he was very low. Managed to kill him anyway, it's all gravy. Pick that up, pick up the 50 solar on the ground, and then that should be game. So, the general playstyle behind this is to try to keep people in your explode for long enough that you can snare bite them. And then once you've snare bit them, that they're stuck for even longer. And then you can just do this constantly. You can even start to alternate the two. So that way you have a constant supply of, hey, screw you, you can't move. Now, as I was saying before, this works really well against the high mobility, low HP characters. I'd say even better than the high nuke ones. So people like Frog, Leon, Penny when she comes out, might all have fairly large issues against this build because of the amount of slow and snare in it. However, characters that you'd normally be able to get rid of fairly easily, so medium HP characters like Skolldir, or characters like Lone Star that, his bull is usually quite frail against large explodes, they can deal with you a little bit better now because you're not dealing as much damage. With your team, though, whew, your effectiveness amplifies. And I mean by a lot. The amount of slow that you get out, it's sexy. I'll go ahead and put up a playstyle vid later on this week, I hope. I'll be able to play with like Weasel or something. And that'll be a fun time. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this guide. I enjoyed making it for you. It was a lot of fun to test this build. It seems to be working most of the time. So go ahead, try it out, see what you think. If you don't like the build or some things can be changed, go ahead, swap around the build. Let me know what you change in it in order to make it more effective for you. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Later!